Anyone is able to access the system, right? Have set up the system, are still facing anyone issues? With Vagrant is one point, like at least I have worked with the Vagrant. Okay, fine. Let's talk it that the relative path and absolute path. Now, currently in which directory, that's we should know that. How do you know that that's current directories? As we are understanding the PWD, that is default, that user home directory which you'll be having, and here you can find a list of all the files, as what all the files and the folders are available. Yeah, as a user home directory, we know that on the Windows also about downloads files, desktop files, documents, and pictures, and some files. Maybe we are creating this in the last week. Yes, hello. As a case sensitive point of view, we are understanding. Yeah, the PWD LS. But what is that absolute path and relative path is? Suppose absolute path. Let me just talk at the first. So what is the absolute path is? Suppose I would like to access this all the configuration files. So how do I access the configuration files? As which we can use it like the EC folder, directly giving that ls and etc. Yeah, that is complete path we are giving that. Yeah, that is starting the top folder, the root folder to that etc. Or if you would like to access the particular file, suppose we have in this etc folder the password file. So if you'd like to access the password file, what is this password file is, we'll come back in more discussions on it. It contains like a user information. Now whenever I'm accessing about it, that's a complete path, the file content, I'm using that the complete absolute path, parent, and then etc subfolder, then password. Either if you'd like to access it any directory or file, so we use it complete path of the location of the file or path, that's we can call it as absolute path. Suppose if you'd like to access about your now we are in the which directory, the var log, that is the log folder directory. But if you'd like to go to the user home directory, simply which you can use it as a notation, so cd we can use it, or as we are understanding that we can use it the tile notation also. The both represents that is same, the user's home directory. But users home directory, now here we have used the cd with the tiled option. That means like there is no explicit path, we didn't use it that. This all, this all we can call it as relative path or shortcuts are using that. Like if we use it, the complete path of the file or folder, we can call it as absolute path, like the ls, the var log which we are using, cd var log. We can call it as a absolute path. But now on the basis of the current directory, you can use it relative path also. So what about the relative path? Suppose now I'm in which directory? Var log. Can I go to that like a root folder? Can I access the root folder? If I would like to access the root folder, what is the relative path that I can use? Absolute path to the root folder is this one, is right? But I don't want to use that, the absolute path. Can we use it relative path to go to the root folder? If it is a relative path, then as my current directory, how do we need to, or what is like notation of the relative path now? Can anyone type this in the chat window? Now I need to go to the root folder. Root, that is like this is my requirement, root folder. But I am in that var log folder. So this is my current working directory, but I would like to go to this directory. Then how do I give that? If I give directly like this, yes, you can use it. There is no issue on it. But this one we can call it as an absolute path. But instead of using that absolute path, how I can use that a relative path? Dot Suppose if I use it at dot dot, okay, so then which directory is going to have it after executing this one, where I will be having the current directory is going to represent where, yeah, that is into the where folder. But I would like to go to the some in the root folder. Then what do we need to give this? So one more dot that I need to give this, right? So this one, like, tilde notations or the dot notations or the dot dot notations, if you are using and if you are switching this one directory to another directory, that's we can call it as a relative path. Relative path, whenever you are giving that current directory is important, where you are in that current directory and to which directory that's what you want to change it. So identifying about your current directory, that is pwd, and to which directory you need to switch it. Yes. So suppose now I need to go to that user home directory. Now I am in that root folder. I would like to go to that my user home directory. What is my user home directory? This one. Two ways I can use it. One is a relative path I can use it. cd/home vagrant. This is complete relative path. So I'm giving that like a complete path of my user home directory. Instead of giving that this complete absolute path, then what I can give that? Simply I can use it cd with the tilde option. So this dot tilde notations dot current directory dot parent directory and tilde notation, that is user home directory. There are some notations which are available from the shell which we can use it and we can browse it. Now in that which directory? The user home directory. So I have used a relative path or absolute path. What do we say these notations? Is it relative path or absolute path? Yeah, so this one we can say relative path. Absolute path is from current a top level directory to that the complete path giving this to the file or directory, we can call it as an absolute path. Suppose now we are in that which directory? The user home directory. Now I'd like to go back to this my something like etc folder. Yeah, the configuration files I need to access. Can you give that relative path for that? Can you give that relative path to the configuration directory, that is etc? Can you type in the chart window quickly? cd/etc, that is absolute path, right? But I don't want to use the absolute path. I would like to use it a relative path and to access etc folder. How do I give that relative path? /etc folder I need to access using relative path. Current directory, my directory is /home/vagrant and I need to access that /etc. Then can anyone give that the relative path for this? Yeah, the first like go back to this directory. Go back to this directory. Yes, dot dot. Then again one more directory, right? One more directory we need to go back. Yes, dot dot. Then yes, now we are in that which directory we'll be having in this root folder, right? And from that root folder, then we can give that what do you want to access it? etc. So this is the current directory we are here, and I would like to access about that the etc folder. But you can use it absolute path. You can use it, but just to get that example on it, relative path. Yes, the first one directory. Yes, parent directory, move it back, and then again parent directory, move it back. Then you will be having in these directories root, and within the root etc, which you can access it. Yes, now if I hit it, now what is my current directory? /etc. Suppose from here I would like to access it varlog folder. Can I access that with relative path? Absolute path, okay. So cd / var log. Fine, this is absolute path. But relative path, yes. Using the relative path, now can you access to var log? What is the notation for it? Yes, first dot dot. So if I use it dot dot, then I will be having root folder. Within the root folder, I would like to access from here var log. This is enough, right, to get it. Now I'm in that pwd. Whereas here we are in this etc. If you go back to that one directory, then you will be having the root, and from that root, then you can access that the var folder, and within that var folder, log folder. Yeah, now I have got the points on this absolute and relative path. Okay, so one more the point, I mean, in this like path and locations point of view, the cd hyphen also is one more point. Suppose now now I'm in which directory? The var log. Previous, what was the directory? I was in etc folder. Now I need to go back to that my etc folder. So one approach which you can use it, the absolute path. What is the absolute path for it? cd / etc. This is absolute path. Fine. Relative path, how do we use it? How to access, go back to the etc. Now we are in the var log, and you need to go back to the previous it was like etc. One is you can use it / etc. This is absolute path. Good. A relative path for that, what is the relative path to access that etc folder? We are in the var log, that means 2 directories. We need to go back. Now we are in the parent, and then you can use it etc. Yes, so this is going to help. Using the relative path, you can go back to that previous directory. Fine. But as like, I mean, one more notation which we have to say is dot 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 tilde. How do we have the symbols like a current directory, parent directory, user home directory? If you like to access the previous directory, then we can use it cd hyphen notation. This is for the previous the directory which you are accessing that. So if you like to access it, then you can use it hyphen. Now before it was in var log. Now I mean my current directory representing to that. Whenever I use it hyphen, the previous directory was showing that is etc. Yeah, so there are some points while accessing that the files and file paths. Yes, it has been given in this link, the first link. Yeah, just browse it. Dot the title notation and hyphen notations and complete path to the directory which you can use it, and present working directory. How do we check it that? Yeah, there are some points, and let's have it one more. The important package, install it whenever you would like to check it that directories and files. That is tree package. Suppose yes, you can use it that tree command. But what did he say in this is the tree command not found. Tree command not found is nothing but how do we install the tree command? Now we are on this CentOS which we are using. On the CentOS, if you are using like use it. These are all, I mean, we can call it as installing packages, but we'll come back like a big concept. How to manage that packages? We have a separate concept, but for the timing, whenever you are browsing the directories or the files, so use this package, install this package on the CentOS, that is minstall tree is a package name, and we are installing using package manager install and with the confirmation. So use this package and install it. But what is the advantage of that tree command is, yes, now we can see which directory we are in that complete directory files and folders we can access. So now currently we are in which directory? etc folder. But let me change it to the user home directory simply to understand it. Yeah, now the tree advantage is it is going to helpful. In the Windows we have like Explorer, right? Yeah, the Windows Explorer. How do we have this to view that the files and folders? And here on the Linux system, either Ubuntu you are using or CentOS we are using, the tree is the command, but this command by default it is not available. You need to install the package. And what is the package that you can install? It is here it has been given that package name also. Yeah, if it is a Ubuntu system, use it apt, or if it is Unix, I mean the CentOS system, use the m sudo m install tree. But case sensitive, they all are small letter. But as this is documentation which is showing caps letters, but use the small letters. But what is the advantages is, yes, what are the like directories we have? What is the parent directory? Within that parent directory, what are the child directories are available? So all that information that we can have it with this tree notation. Yeah, the tree command that is going to helpful as to understand it or to browse that. Or suppose particular directory, if you would like to see that, you can give that the complete path of the directory also. Now it is showing us the files and the folders which are in var log folder. So if you run it only tree command, that is going to give that current directory files and folders in the tree structure notation. So this is a directory which we are using now. Within this directory we have Anaconda. Within the Anaconda we have some more log files and audit and boot log files. These are all like the straightforward files we have. And this is a folder, and again this folder is having the files, access files and error files of the scopes like that. The parent folder, and the parent folder, what are the files and the folders it contains, that you can trace it complete top to lower of this directory structure by using tree command. Yeah, this is also just keep that in the mind and install this tree package in your system. That will be helpful. And here by using the tree also some more options. If you observe that, if you like to see this only directories, I don't want to see this directories and files, but by default it is going to give directories and files. But I don't want to see that files, but I need to see only directories. How you can give that? -d is one more option. Tree -d, and if you give that the directory location, then within this directory it is going to give that all the directories. Yeah, directories and main directories and files. Yes, but we have in etc so many files and folders. Yeah, that is like helping about it only to view that the directories. Yes, this is the option tree -d and the directory, which directory related the directories you would like to see, that's you can pass it over here. This is one more option. And if you'd like to see this like -f is also one more option which is available. It is going to helpful to view the files information. -d directories and -ef, that is the files information. Or you can give that both the files and folders if you'd like to see that. -df, that is one more. Yeah, tree which we have like -ef, -d, and if you run that only tree, that is current directory, but you can pass it that specific directory. Or can I see this multiple directories? Suppose I would like to see that current directory related the files, and as well as I would like to check it that etc folder related the files. Can I give that at the same time two directories directory structure using the tree? Now what is the dot representation as we are understanding? Current directory, right? Yes, it is going to give that now current directory and as well as etc, or if you have other directories, yes, you can pass it other directories as well as. Now total how many directories it has been founded in these two directories, that is the current directory and as well as etc. 361 directories total available and 1574 files are available. Yeah, so if you go to the top where we were running the command, This is somewhat difficult. We have so many files and folders right here. Yeah, but anyway, there's you can try it, but where we were running. Yeah, the total which you can access all the files and folders, or if you give that, like, let me go for simple directory up to folder etc. We have the so many files and folders to get it. Yeah, so here you can see from this command we have the total 39 directories. Yeah, the tree current directory. Yeah, first it is showing that which directory files is current directory. That means user home directory. Now we are in that user home directory. So from this user home directory, these are all the files and folders. Yes, desktop files, documents, and second it is showing that opt folder. Opt is having only one file, RH. We don't have the much. And again, the third directory varlog. Yes, varlog contains all these files and folders. Yeah, this is one more beauty command to browse it or to explore about your directories and files which you have on this the Ubuntu system or CentOS. But by default, tree whenever you run it, you will be having the command not found and install this package. So what is the package which you can install? It is that is run this command with sudo permission. Sudo is required. Super user permissions. Sudo m install tree and with confirmation -y. Run this command. But what is this command and how do you use it? Is installed in the packages or managing packages will come back later. Yeah, run this command, then you can use it. Tree the command to explore directories and files with the -d option, -f option, and you can give that multiple directories to browse it all the files and folders. Easy way. Yeah, this is one more command which we should know that. Yeah, how go on the tree option, absolute and relative path locations. Yeah, please respond it. I mean, that is easily I can understand. Okay, I can go to this next option on the basis of about your response quickly. Okay, 2 points which we got it, but all these points, yes, here you can access it. Today go to that day 6 activities and the paths and ls command options. You can access it from here. And just whatever you are understanding, yeah, the tree with the options you can find it here. Tree with the directory and a tree with -d, tree with the -f options. Yeah. Yeah, now let's move to this next option, that is, yeah, tree with the -c. Like if you need it, yeah, at any time if you need that any help, just to try to work with that -help or manual of that. Yeah, that's like, I mean, we have some more options also if you'd like to find it, but like -d and -f just we are understanding. But if you'd like to see the each and every options which are available, yes, you can find it. Some more options where both version information of it and change times. But anyway, I'll come back to that. What is the -c options? Yeah, some more options also, but for the timing, directories to browse it, files to browse it. Yes, just to get it that -d and -ef. But if you need that at any time, any documentation from the commands, try to get the habit that how do we use that help option also. Yeah, either you can use it -help with the command with the -help. It is going to give that what are the possible options are available, because all the options that is not possible to remember it. But whenever there is a requirement, how to get it that particular option information is, instead of browsing that Google, you can refer that the particular command, that command what all the options are available is, that is by just running that -help, or we can use it like one more command, that is manual of that command. Yeah, this is a complete it is like as the documentation of the command, but you need to have the patience to check it. Yes, which option you are looking of that. Yeah, that is the manual and -help options are going to helpful to get it at any time, any option related, some description if it is required. Suppose you are running one command and within the command you are using some option and you don't know that option. Then you can just simply type that help of that command or manual of that command. Yeah, but what is in the C and all that, I'll come back to. Change times without discussing, I cannot go ahead. Yes, I'll come back to that. And whenever you are accessing this manual, and if you'd like to quit here, just use the Q option. At any time you are in like a paginations, or you are in that like the manual accessing this, and if you'd like to quit it, just use the Q option. Q, that is for quit. And sometimes whenever you are accessing this terminal and the terminal prompt you are not able to get it, then use that Control C to quit from that the process point of view, or end of the process to make it foreground jobs. If you are running anything, then use that Control C. Yeah, there are some points understanding. Now let's jump into that. The one more important important thing which we should know, that is ls command. Ls command with some more options. Let me just go through that. That will be helpful on this ls. Normally we are using like ls command. It is just giving that what are the files and the folders are available in the current directory. How do we view that files and folders? That is ls. But even even in our Windows also, if you just browse it, whenever you are accessing the files and folders, we have a view option, right? So now I'm getting about it, the folder and the file, and when it was modified date and time, and the type, is it a folder or is it a file, and the size of it. Yeah, these are all some more details. Now here it has been selected view option details. But Windows point of view, have some more options. Yes, if you need that large icons, yes, you can change it, or you can see this list options, or you can see that content device, or medium icons. As that Windows representation, we have view with all these options. In the current directory which you are in, that directory related the files and folders to access view option. Like that. Whenever you are working this on the Linux system, but how do we use it? Unless we are using now has to see the list of all the files and folders. But all these files and folders, who has modified or when it was modified, if you would like to know that more information of it, yes, what is like option which we use it is long list format, which we can call it. So now it is showing about it only, yes, desktop downloads, music, some public videos, some whether that is a directory or file also we don't know it, right? But it is just giving that file names. But if you'd like to know that the more the long list format of it, then you can use it ls-en. That is going to helpful. Yes, so these are all the same files and folders it is listing, but with some more description. But what is the description? If we just observe that on the Windows system, whenever we are accessing, we can easily identify that okay, this is the file and this is the folder with icon representations. But whenever we are on the Linux system, how do you know that whether this is the directory or it is a file? That is the first and foremost point of view which we can understand is, yeah, so here first bit representation of that ls command is going to helpful, the first bit. Yeah, that is, yeah, here colors representations are helping, but don't think that in all the shells you'll be having the same kind of the color. That is, sometimes we don't have the color. Then how do we identify that? Is it a directory or file? Yeah, so here it is showing us all the blue colors represented directory, but don't depend on the colors. But main standard which you have this is first character in this format, long list format. The first character represents directory. Now you see that here D we have. And now we see this here we have the D. And here are some files which are having blank. If you see that the blank, these are all just to simply think of those files. And if you see the D representation, then we can understand this is a directory. Yeah, directories and the files. How to differentiate it? Is it a directory or is it a file? So the first character D represents directories, and if it is having the blank, there is hyphen representation, then we can understand as a file. And next in that long list of format, 9 characters, but these 9 characters we will talk it separately, which we have like there is a permissions related. When during the permissions, whenever we are discussing what is like a user related permissions, group related permissions, others permissions, what they can do on these directories or the files, that is we can evaluate it by using that ls-l with these 9 characters are going to helpful to identify the permissions of the users. And the next one more, this is going to helpful how many links it is having that. The hard links, but we have separate concept on hard link and soft link. We'll come back. And which user has created this file? The owner of this directory or the file, and this owner is belong to the which group? The group of that user. Yeah, we will talk it all these points during users management section, and the permissions during the discussions will come back. But high level, just understand directory of the file and the permissions characters and the links, how many links it is having this directory of the file, who is the owner of this file or directory, and that owner is belong to the which group, the group information of that, and what is the size of the file or directory. On the Windows, yes, how do we know about it? Yes, here you see that 634 bytes of the size like that. But on a Unix system, how do you know that what is the size of the file or directory is? But we have, I mean, a different commands. I'll come back. But for the timing, yes, this section is going to helpful. So the total size of this file or directory. But here all the directories are having the same. But the ls is not helping to view directory sizes. We have like a du command. We'll come back later. But this section understand is that is file size or disk size. Now these two files are the 00. That means we don't have any characters or file content in these two. Yeah, this is a size, and this is a date and time stamp when the file or a directory has been modified. The modified date and time, but we'll come back. What is the modified times and change times? We have some concepts. I'll come back, and then finally directory name. Yeah, this is a long list format, understanding is it a directory or the file and the permissions of it, and who is the owner, and who is that, which group he belongs to that, and what is the size of it, when it was lastly modified, and name of directory or file. Yeah, this is a notation which we have, but within this notation, so what are the options which we have? This is, if we just try to understand it, some more options here. As we were understanding ls, which we have more options, like I would like to reverse up that all these. Now you see this by default, what is the sorting order it is going to use? It is on the base of the directory and the file names. It is going to use it the alphabetical order which is following about it on the directories and file names. Is desktop document G. Yeah, these are the alphabetical order which is using on the basis of the files names and directories. But can we use it? Can we use it on the basis of these are time based or size based or a reverse of that, reverse order? So we have some more options, but before talking about it, suppose now you are reviewing that normally we are saying this ls, we can use it to view that all the files and folders, right? But within the ls with the L long list which we are using, but can I use it multiple directories and files? Can I view that? Suppose etc we are viewing, and current directory also I would like to see that. Can you see this list of all the files and folders with the multiple directories? Yes, this is one directory. It is going to list it all the files and the folders of that etc, as well as, yes, if you would like to see that in the same command other directory files related, like a tree, how we are using multiple directory resources also, which we can access it. So now if you browse it, yes, it is giving that etc folder, and as well as It is helping about it current directory as well as, but we have so many files. Yeah, this is about etc folder related files and folders total, which we have the 1408, and this is about our current directory. Yeah, so that is we can apply ls with multiple resources, and L option, that is a long list format. And one more option which we have, this is within the ls. Suppose if I don't give that any option over here, normally it is giving files and folders names, right? Yeah, etc, these are all the files, and dot, these are all the files and folders. And if you need it instead of in this format, in a single line format, what you can use it is -1, which is available, and where you can print it all these files and folders in a single column representation. So now it is helping about it to view easily all that's in the single column representation. Yeah, -1, -L, L is the long list format, -1, which is going to helpful like as a single column representation of the files and the folders, and the ls, which we can use it with multiple directories related the files and the folders. If you'd like to browse it, yes, we can use it, that ls with the multiple directories resources. Yeah, there are some options, but not just enough. In this directory, I would like to see that only suppose I'm asking about it current directory and as well as etc directory. I would like to see directories information about etc and dot. What is the option which we can use it is -d, which we can pause it. Let me just remove that. -d, what it is going to helping this is the current directory related information. Now suppose let me give that -l also. Yeah, current directory information, whenever you would like to access about it, the directory, who has created and what are the permissions, and you can use it -d option within the ls, so to get it the current directory information. Or you can get it, suppose normally how to get it, I need to use it ls-l. If I would like to get it etc folder related information, how do we need to use it? ls-l root, right? Then within the root we have the etc folder. That etc folder information, yes, now we can see this, who has created and what are the permissions it is having, when it was lastly modified. Now you are accessing at root level, but instead of accessing the root level, the particular directory, how to access this is just to give that -d option and the directory name, then the directory related complete details it is going to helpful. Yes, that is a long list format of that directory. Yeah, these are all options. What are the options we are observing? If you just observe that, yeah, long list format, and you can access it multiple resources at the same time within the ls, or we can use it single column representation of it. So instead of having as a horizontal representation, a vertical the column, the single column representation, we can use it. And current directory information, if you would like to know that, yes, the directory you can just pass it with -d, then the directory information you can get it. And yeah, these are all options where I'm showing, but still some more options if you need it. What are those is, suppose we are accessing the current directory and sorting it is using on the basis of directory names and file names, right? Sorting option. But sometimes it is required to check it size based sorting options, or date and time based, that is yeah, the time based, if you would like to see that. Then how do we view that? That is sorting options on the size, sorting options on the time based. Yes, we have like some more options. Yeah, t, which we can use it, that is a timestamp. Now you see this, like the files which have been modified. So modified timestamp it is using, instead of using that directory names, here you see that it is there is no specific order on that directory names. Now it is using the latest files which have been modified, that files it is going to give that in the top to bottom. Yeah, the t option within the ls, that is helping about time based sorting order. and L for long listing, and T for time based. And we can use it like one more option, size based if we need it. Yes, size based the sorting options. Yes, now you can see this is the file or directory which I'm having, the more bytes which are using, but remaining all the files and folders which are using lesser size. Yeah, the size based -s which we can use it. And but whenever we are using -s, it is not using the time based. If you just observe that, but if you need that time, then use it only -t option, or if you need that the size based, then use it I mean caps S options. Yeah, these are all two more options, T, S, T for time, S for size based. Now we have the some files, and which file is using that, the more disk utilization. You can just like ls -ls and the particular folder which you can give it, and you can get it, suppose I need to get it the top 3 files which are consuming that. Now we can use it head. Yeah, H, I'll come back to that. What is that H, and how it is going to help for that. Now you can see this like top 3 fields printed. Yes, so within that etc folder, now what we are trying to get it, so ls-ls and etc. Within that etc, it is going to give that size based sorting option. Okay, but what is the head command? If you just try to recollect it, head and tail, the top lines of the file or last lines of the file, if you'd like to get it, we are understanding head and tail, right? So head and -n and 3, if I give that, that means top 3 lines. Yes, but top 3 line, it is given that total also. But yeah, if you just observe that services is the file which contains around this size of that, but it is given that's in the bytes. I mean, like how do you know that? Is it in MBs or is it in kilobytes? That's point of view. What you can do is, within that ls we have like one more option, H. Normally size in which format it is given that? In a bytes format. So it is given that's in the kilobytes format, bytes format. But if you need that human readable format of it, now you see this like we are having this 670 this like bytes, whatever it is showing that, actually that is in, it is converting into the kilobytes. Now it is showing that in the human readable format. H for is the size column, whatever it is showing, and if you need that some human readable format of that sizes, then you can use it H option within that ls. Yeah, now it is, this is the file which is having around 655 kilobytes, and from that etc folder we are printing that. Yeah, the size based filter, time based, T for time, S for size, H for human readable format of it, and D for directories, and F for files, which I have some more options. I'll come back. And yeah, are you getting these points? You just browse that history. Yes, like they're all ls with options, and with we are trying to find it, sorting off that all the files on the base of etc and getting that topmost 3 files or the 2 files which we have this in this output. Yeah, head we'll talk it some more options. I'll come back to that. But ls, these are all the options. But it is not enough. We have like some files extension based, like sometimes it is required to, suppose on the Windows system, if you just browse it, I have some list of all the files, but I would like to filter it on the base of the file extensions. Now we can use it this type option, right? And size based option, the filter option, just we are mentioning -s on Linux system. But whatever is type based, if I would like to filter it, and a time based, how to filter it on the Linux system? ls with the T option is going to helpful, modified time based to sort it, right? T. L is for the long listing format. L, T, -s, that is size based, and modified, that is T-based, T we can use it. And type we didn't discuss, we will come back, but type based, how do we sort it off it? And one more option what we are understanding, this file size in human readable format, how do we use that? So kilobytes or megabytes or the gigabytes, if you'd like to know that the size of the files, then we can use it. What is the option? We can use it in ls command to get it human readable format of the sizes, that is H option. Yeah, the H option is going to help for human readable. I will share this history where you can just browse it, all these commands. Okay. Next, one more option is, as we have this on the Windows, type-based filter. Suppose I have so many documents or the text files or the folders, I would like to sort it on the base of type. But on the Linux system, how do we use it is, so -X option, which we can use it on that folder to get it all the files and the folders, filtering that on the base of their extensions. Now you see that's here. Yeah, here, I mean, if you just observe some points, like first it is going to give that all the directories, or where we don't have any specific extension here. If you just observe that, whether these are all the files or the folders, it doesn't matter that, but we don't have any extension here. But here, some files which are having extension with allo, back files, cache files, configuration. Now you see this con files. Yeah, con files, which are all the con files which are having the file extension, which are listing as a sequence here, right? Con, these are all the configuration files. Then we have like a .d some extension files, and those files it is listing. And then it is coming to the deny files. Yeah, so it is just listing or sorting on the base of file extensions, like in our Windows .doc files or .txt files or .xls files. If you have any filter option, if you just use it the here, then it is going to return on the base of file extensions as order, or you can give the name, or we can give the date modified, type, size. How do we have that view in the file content on the Windows? The same thing on the Linux system, which we have. You can filter that using long list format EL. By default, that is on the basis of the files and the folder names, but we can filter it on the basis of the time, size, that is -es, and -ex, which is going to helpful on the basis of the extensions, and -t on the basis of the modified file names. Yes, which one is required? That's option which you can use it within that ls command. And one more point with the ls option, let me just conclude it with hidden files. How do we see that? Suppose on about our Windows, if you would like to see this the hidden files, now somewhere you can yeah, you need to enable that in this view section, enabling these hidden items. If I disable this, I don't see this hidden files. Suppose if I go to my user home directory, C drive, users, but here some files on, I mean, dot representation which are showing. So hidden items, like you can enable or disable whether you want to see that hidden files or not. That is view options, that you can customize it. So how do we have this on the Windows? Same thing. How do I see this? The files which are hidden in the long list format is -A option, which you can use it A to give that all the hidden files and the folders in the current directory. Now we see this here. But how do I identify that whether the file is hidden or not? Which files are the hidden? Which files are the not hidden? If you see this, the file names which are starting with a dot representation. Yeah. So in the normal format, if I give that, I don't see this all the dot. I mean the files which are started with the dot. That means it is hidden that all the files and folders. But if I would like to see this all the files, all, A for all, as simple. It is going to give that hidden files also and folders also. Yeah, so this is one more option which we can use it. ls-lrtha. What is the history command? History command. Yeah, so whatever the commands you are using this within the terminal, all the commands related, the history that users related, what are the commands he has executed so far in that current shell or user shell, that's it is going to list it that. Yeah, they're all the commands we're executing so far. Yeah, A option, -X option, -S option, H human readable, T the time-based sorting, L that is normal like files and directory based sorting, and only see this directory information and a single column to represent it. Yes, they're all the options we are understanding. Are you following the points? Yeah, any queries, questions? Please respond. I mean, everyone is silent. Okay, Satish. Yeah. Yeah, good. Yeah, thank you. So if you just give the response, that will be helpful. Where are we able to follow it or not? Yes, good. And let me, still it is not enough LS, but LS, if you like to know more, it is not possible, but these things just we need to remember it. But we have like always trying to use it about manual of that. The command is very important. So if you just browse it here, you will be having so many options, but everything is not possible to remember it. But yes, whenever there is a requirement to know about it, the particular command option. Suppose if you don't know any command, suppose you need to copy the files, but you don't know that how to copy the files on the Linux. Then what is the command to copy the files? That's point of view, you can browse it the Google. So if you don't know the command, yes, like just hit that Google with that requirement, how to copy the file on the CentOS or how to copy the file on the Ubuntu. Be specific to that. Normal commands fine, but whenever you are working with that specific to that CentOS or the Ubuntu and which version you are using, 7, CentOS 7 or Ubuntu, which version. So type that in the Google with that distribution specification and what you are requiring that, and know about the command. And once if you know the command, but command is going to have so many options, but all these options not possible to remember it, but try to get that at least whenever there is a requirement, how to use that help option to know about it. What are the options are available within that system, like or within that command. Just browsing that option and looking about that description of it, this is important. Suppose -ef, if you give that, it is not sorting, and it is going to give that like AU representation or disable color representations. Yeah, there are like F time, F options, G options. Now, like -a we are talking about it. That is for all. Do not ignore entries starting with dot. That means do not ignore. It is not going to ignore it. The files which are started with the dot. That means all the hidden files also. And yeah, so if you just observe that D, that is directory representations. So it is going to list directories themselves, but not their contents. Yes, it is not listing the content, right? Whenever we are using ls command, ls with -d and a directory name, if you give that, it is going to give the information of that directory, but not the content. Yeah, so like these options identifying about it, just which you are understanding -x option. This is for sort alphabetically by entry extension based sorting. And we are understanding T option, sort by modification time, newest first. Yes, latest files at the top. And -S option, that is a sort by file size. Yeah, so knowing about this manual of the command also is important whenever you are working with that. Yeah, control V not working for pasting command internal. Yes, the control V doesn't work it here. So just to use it, right click and shift insert to paste it, shift insert, and to copy the files, control insert. Suppose I have some text and if I would like to copy, then use it, control insert, and if you would like to paste it here, shift insert. Just to use it shortcut notations here. It doesn't work at control V here in this terminal. Good. Yeah, fine. That's about some points, and all these points, whatever I'm talking that, yeah, like, okay, good. One more point, let me just conclude it. ls, whenever I'm using -l, so I didn't use it any sorting option, it just giving that on the basis of the file names and directory names. But if I would like to have it in the reverse order, then we can use it. That's a caps R notation. Yeah, like yeah, so it is going to give that more in reversing order it is giving. Yes, if you just observe that it is coming back to that each and every directory and recursively, and it is going to give that all the information, the top to bottom approach. Okay, so instead of this is a recursively. I will come back. From smaller, if you just use it, simple notation. If you just observe that it has been reversed, right? Reversed. But what about this caps? Or if you just observe that it is helping about it recursively to give that all the details. Recursively in the sense directory, within the directory you will be having subdirectories, right? Suppose in my system, so let's observe that here I'm having GitLab is one folder. Within the GitLab again I have the subfolder utils, and within that utils I have these files. Yeah, that is like a folder and a subfolder and all the files and folders. Like how do we have the tree notation? Tree notation, how it is showing about it, the top to bottom approach. So with the ls command itself, which you can use it with the r, caps R. Small r is for reverse of that, the sorting order, reverse of the sorting. Yeah, ls is very important, and cd with obsolete path, relative path. Yes, if you like to become that the more friendly with the Linux system, yes, first initially it is a struggle. Yes, like ls, how do we use that cd options. Have got these points, but all these commands it has been given here. You can just browse it. Yes, ls with the dot and a listing more directories, long listing format, listing all the files and directories, including hidden ones. That is A option. And listing on a single column, yes, -1 option, and a D option, directory notations, H, that is size-based human readable, caps S, sorting by size, and display the size of a directory and all its content. Okay, size of that directories and files, and small, caps X, that is sorting by extension. And we have like hiddening some files also. Let me just talk with this option also. Suppose normally whenever we are giving that ls -l etc folder, it's going to give that all the files and folders, right? Yeah, .conf files and all the files it is giving. But my requirement is within this long list format, I don't want to see that .conf files extension. So I don't want to see that .conf file extension. Then what we can do this is we can hide the files which are no more required to you display within that ls command. The file extension which are having conf, I don't need to see that. Then if you give that hide, and you see this, do you see there's any .conf files here? We have .d files and remaining files, but we don't see this .conf file. That means it is skipping that, it is excluding. To list it all the files which are having that extension with asterisk. Asterisk is any file name, doesn't matter that what is the file name, that's why how, but extension is .conf, and we are hiding -hide option. Yeah, so this is a command which is going to helpful if you don't want to see that some file extensions whenever you are listing, then you can use it -hide option. Yeah, these are all important points on this ls. So it has been given here. and try to open it and try to look into that all these options. That is the first section, paths, ls and ls command options. Next, which we have this is the file types and the timestamps. Yes, let me viewing the files. That is already we were discussing that the head option, tail option, cat command. Yes, see here you can work with this. I'll give some lab guide on this. These are all like a head, a tail, some exercise to practice it. It has been given this one, but let me talk it the 10 to 15 minutes on this. What are the file types and the timestamps? But before starting this, yes, any queries, questions on this absolute path, relative path, cd command, how do we use it, pwd and ls with options? Any queries, questions on that? Okay, cool. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, now let's go to that, like understanding the file types and timestamps. Yeah, suppose we are using ls-l of the current directory, and we were doing that this file like maybe on 14th. Yes, like maybe Friday we were creating this file, but when it was modified last time, and when it was lastly accessed of this file, and when it was the file properties have been changed, that means owner of the file or group of the file or permissions of the file. So whenever we are observing about the timestamps, 3 timestamps we need to remember that on the files and directories. So those 3, if you just observe that, one is access time, when the file was lastly accessed. That is one point. Access, that is read option, right? Cat command if you are using, or if you are using that the head commands, there's like accessing of it. Modified, yes, I have opened this file and I have modified some content here. That is modified time. And I have changed some properties of the file. That is like user I have changed or permissions I have changed. So this is like a changing the properties. So change time we'll call it, or C time we'll call it. So total any file, if you just observe that, three timings. But how do we know that? What are those? All that 3 times of this file or folder. So stat is a command which you can use it. Stat, and if you just give that file name, it is helping about it, the file name and what is the size it is having and which device it is having. Do we have any links for this, or how many links are there? The links, like as we are saying, that this is the links option. And finally here you see this in that command, access time, modify time, change time. So when the file was lastly accessed, this is the access time. When the file was lastly modified time. And when the file properties have been changed, that means, yeah, the permissions or the owners, any properties that has been updated, then the change, that is metadata of that file. We call it as a metadata, which contain the complete properties of the file. Yeah, so these 3 options, if you'd like to know that, stat, and if you just give that file, and you can give like within the stat multiple files also. So this is about hello.txt, that hello.txt access time, modified time, and change time. This is about hello.txt with the caps letter, access time, modified time, and change time. Yeah, so this is one point which we have. So how do we know that, like timestamps of that file? But whenever we are giving that ls-l command, so is it giving that modified time, or which time is that? So by default, it lists that the modified time. But if you need it, access time, how do I use it within that ls command, access time, to get it? Yeah, ls-l u option is going to helpful. U option is going to helpful to get it all the. Now you see the timestamps have been changed. But ufer, that is helping about it access time. But by default, ls-l, which is going to give that modified time as a list. But if you'd like to see this all that, then you can use the stat command. Stat and a file name which we can give it that. A stat all the properties. By default, L, that is giving that modified time, and access time if you need it. ls is having one more option, that is u, to see access time. But if you would like to see that change time, how to get it is C option, which is available within that ls. So two more options with ls command. What are those two more options? Change time, how to get it? Access time, how to get it? U, access time, and C for change time. And L, the normal long list which is given that is modified time. So any file or directory you are creating, modified time, access time, and change time. But ls helping that to get it access time format whenever you are listing, or if you need that change times, yes, you can use it C options. So let me create some files here. Suppose I just created this file. Now if I go for that ls-l and linux.txt, yeah, this is my like modified file, and the sum I'll be having this all the properties same, right? Access time, modified time. So the current date and time of the system, it is going to be that. What is the date I have? Date and time. How to get it? The date and time is date command. Yeah, the Monday. So there's the 47 which is showing as a UTC, universal time. And as per that, yes, like 46 it has been created, but current time is 47. Fine. Now, if I go for like a touch once again, touch of that linux.txt, what it is doing, touch normally to create a file, right? But already file is there, file is already available. File linux.txt already created. But if I use a touch once again, touch linux.txt, what it is doing is, if you just observe that, before it was linux.txt, which was modified time, the 4.6. But whenever I run that touch linux.txt, that means it is modifying. If it is a file is not there, it is a creating. And if you use the touch, and if you give that already existing file name, then it is helping to update the modified time, right? It's now 4.7. The modified time has been changed. Now, if you just observe that, start off this linux.txt, the lastly, so which was modified at the 7:55. Yeah, so that is what is that, 4.7? Yeah, the 4.7 time. Yeah, the timing, I mean the seconds which are showing 55, this confusion. Okay, so access time, modify time, change time. So touch is helping. If it is a file is not there, it is creating, and during creation time, the whatever system time you have, that's time it is updating. Data, it is not going to have any impact. Inside the content, if it is there, it is not having any impact. It is just changing that timestamp, that's all. The file content as it is, it will be there. It is not having any impact to the file content. They just updating that modified time. Okay, so it is updating the modified time and access time and the properties also. Yes, like that is touch. If it is a file not there, it is creating. File is there, it is updating the modified time. Now, suppose how to change the access time. Now the date, if you just observe that, suppose if I use it cat under linux.txt, cat is command you are using that accessing of the file, right? Cat to view the file content. The cat, if I run it and if I check it my file timestamps, so what has happened? Now 4.9, it is approximately 4.10. So cat is helping like as accessing time it is updating is whenever you are applying the cat on that file. So what the background it is happening, a cat is helping to print that content, fine, good, but we don't have those any content here in this file. But the background properties, if you just observe that, lastly access time, yes, so that is updating as the cat command. Yeah, the cat is access time, and touch is, it is helping all the properties to modify it. It's like modify time, change time, and access time. And if you would like to see the modified time, yes, already we are doing the touch, but we can use it with touch one more option. The touch with the -m also is going to helpful to update only. Yes, touch actually to create a file. But if the file is already there, then it is helping. Okay, you are requesting to modify the file. That is the meaning over there. If the file is not there, it is creating. If the file already exists, it is helping to. It is just changing that background. You have modified time. But we can use it explicitly also modified time by using -em, and if you just give that the file name. Now you see this was like lastly access time. That is access time. It was cat command. Now you see this like we are accessing the touch -m linux.txt. So that's the current date. If you just try to print it, yes, approximately the 411. Yeah. So during that 411, it was modified and changed. That means the touch -em option. I suppose normally touch command, if I use it, access time, modified time, change time, all the properties is updating that. But only modified time or change time, if you like to update it, then you can use it -em option. Touch with -em and file name. That is helping modified time and change time of that the file, but not access time. But if you give that only touch file name, yeah, it is updating that access time also, right? But if you don't want that access time, but if you need that only modified time, then touch is having this one more option, that is -em option. Yeah. So there are some options like understanding about it, access time, modified time, change time. Cat command you are using is nothing but accessing, and already existing file you are trying to recreate is nothing but that is touch if you are using is nothing but that is going to update that modified time access time. But if you need that only modified time to update that to the current file, current date and time, then use it touch -em and file name. That is helping only modified time and change time. It is updating but not access time. Yeah, so this is all like understanding about it. LS options, if you observe that on these timestamps point of view, on this timestamps point of view, LS which we have by default it is given that modified time. But if you need that access time within that the files list, U, and if you need that change time within that list format, then C. So L for modified time, U for access time, C for change time. But how do you see this like all these files information of that stat command? And how to change that the modified times or access times is cat, that is change time, but touch which you can use it modified time and access time are only modified time by using -em option. Yeah, how about these points on the timestamps? Yeah, displaying A time, displaying M time, C time, and displaying all the timestamps, displaying the full timestamp. Yes, you just work with the hyphen full time also, the full timestamp that is with the seconds also it is going to give that. Then you can just try to run it and work with that. Touch file name, that is if the file is already there, it is going to update the modified time, access time, change time. But only like access time of the file, if you want to change it, touch -e, only modified time -em, touch -e instead of that you can use the cat command also, right? Access time to change it. Yeah, so these notations, and you can explicitly set that also with touch -m and explicit. Normally system date and time it is taking this, right? System date and time it is assigning that whenever you are modifying that file, but we can explicitly set that. Suppose you need to change the modified time to the particular date, so you can do that. But how do you do that? Touch -m and -t, and what the year, which year do you want to set it, and the month of it, and then date of it, then hours, then minutes, and then seconds, and you can apply that on the file. So the default current time which is going to take it, but we can set explicitly also. Yeah, with this date format also you can modify that, either this format or this format which you can use it. Yeah, so there are a date and calendar is also one more command. Let me just to show that. What is the current calendar of the system? Yeah, the May 2021, and that today is the Monday 17th. But if you'd like to need that particular calendar year, yes, you can give that something 2020 is required. Then you can give that calendar, that year, that is going to help all that. Yes, that's months of that calendar, months of that year. It is going to give that, or a particular month if you need it within the calendar. Suppose the 7th month of that 2020. Yes, only that month, July of this 2020, you can get it. These are all some calendar option. Calendar, and yeah, last 3 months if you like to print it, which you can use it. Yeah, there are some options. Just browse it. That is about file types and timestamps.